What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up, so I put it up. Thanks everybody for supporting. But this video, though, this video is entitled, is your ideology outdated? You too old school. There are some things that are classic. You reap what you sow. But right now we seem to be in flux where some ideologies are outdated because they're not for the people that are around us right now. What do I mean by this? I'm glad I asked. They say that you asked. You got people who believe in traditionalism, like myself. But when you look into society, traditionalism is the last option after all of the individualisms and all of the other isms have failed you. So I got to ask, is this ideology of traditionalism outdated? Because everybody's fighting against traditionalism, Now, I'm going to attack this in a lot of different ways. Think about it like this. Then you say, go to school, get an education, get a good job. So now, with automation looming in the wings, after the fact that the cost of an education has ballooned astronomically, going to school and getting an education and getting a good job might be an old, outdated ideology depending on the field you're talking about. Because if it's not in STEM, you might be wasting your time. And with the advances in technology and the ability for people to grasp technology, you might be able to get into fields with certifications and work your way up rather than degrees. Just depends. So is that ideology outdated? I'm a conservative. I think most black people are conservatives, though. Is liberalism an outdated ideology? Because even black people under the liberal ideology see that it doesn't work for black people, and the things that liberals are fighting for really don't make sense to the rest of America. We need to smoke weed and be and be gay and be willing to be gay, and what does this do for the economy? What is this doing for productivity and efficiency and job creation and entrepreneurial spirit? And what does that have to do with making this country better than it was yesterday? Nothing. So, this idea that everybody has to just get along together, getting along is not getting stuff done. So I gotta ask, is the ideology outdated? I think partially America is crumbling because the ideology of white people being the most fit to run the world. I think that's an outdated ideology. If you look at the debts, not only of this country, but of the European Union, obviously people who have stolen a lot and created a lot wound up owing people that they stole from, or wound up owing people even though they profited off a stolen idea, stolen work, stolen labor. You can't be considered competent if you owe people and you really didn't work for a bulk of your wealth or your position in the world. It's like this idea that white people are competent. I think that's an old ideology. And people are challenging that by the day. I think feminism as an ideology is outdated because it didn't work. Women don't actually want equality, so that's not what it was about. The women are starting to say they want men to be men again, but these are the same women that wanted to be men and just like men. So I think the hypocrisies of that ideology makes it outdated because now you have women having to be held to the own standards that they created for themselves, and they don't want to. So now is the ideology outdated because you want to blame men for something that you wanted. I don't understand it, but to me, just like liberalism, to things that don't make sense are becoming outdated very fast. Okay. This ideology that everybody can work and earn the American dream, I think that's outdated. I think people understand that everybody can't live the American dream. And most people who want to live the American dream are not living in reality. And their ideology is basically to live a life of leisure without generational wealth or work, which is silly, to say the least. Stupid, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. But is the American dream ideology outdated? Because you see the idea of a global economy. When the economy is global, that means everybody is quote unquote dependent upon each other. And the thing about that is this: when the economy becomes global, there is no quote unquote superpower. Just saying. It's an interlinked, interchangeable society. So the wave can move from anywhere. Now, individualism, rugged individualism, American individualism is an outdated ideology. Why? Because America's in tremendous debt. So you can't be, if you're an individual in a land of tremendous debt, that means you have tremendous debt. And normally you don't want to be an individual. And it plays out because you see people still living at home with their parents. A lot of cohabitation, less marriage because of the fallout of divorce, which one of the major reasons for divorce is either sex or money, but this is more so money. So because the bulk of the country is strapped for cash, the idea that you could just make it on your own is a fallacy, because what do you hear most of the women say? They want to meet a guy who's got it all together. Why? Because normally she doesn't. Her debts say so. So this ideology of individualism is outdated, because these same people who want to be individuals want to be hitched to a person who's a hyper individualist or hyper successful. So just my opinion on this one. Like, share, subscribe. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.